on that ball, and that was Rodney Deary, the outstanding tailback, playing in the secondary on this occasion, almost had a big interception.
Second down from the 19-yard line, 4:15 to go. Draw play, nothing doing. Wrapping it up quickly, Terrence Gordon, a 280-pound nose guard.
Terrence Gordon may be, Larry, one of the best nose guards in high school at any classification, certainly in North Florida. Watch Terrence Gordon. There he's in the screen right now. And poor Nick Butler, he's going to have nightmares about seeing Big Gordon right there in his own backfield.
Morris Gallion, the center for Westminster, giving up 105 pounds in that matchup with the nose guard, Terrence Gordon. Little swing pass left side again, almost intercepted. Keno Parkins in on the coverage, nothing available for Butler, who tried to sneak out of the backfield and catch a pass. And it's 4th down from the 21-yard line. And let's see if they try a field goal. Cannell has made 4. He has missed 2 on the season, but the only snap we have seen on a kick attempt was a poor one, and Westminster may just go for it.
Have they called timeout, or is he just, I don't know that they have one left, do they? He's just talking to his coach on the sideline. They do have one left.
Westminster has one. University Christian does not have any. And here's they are going to try the field goal. Again, we mentioned that they do have fakes available with the quarterback as kicker, but Cannell will kick it. It's wobbly, but it is no good. He pulled it off to the left as you look at the goalposts. It's narrow, and that's a big difference. You know, we've talked all season long about the college goalpost being narrower. High schools are still using 23 feet 6. The colleges went to 18.6 from 23.4. So the kickers in this game are kicking at the narrow goalpost that they have not seen all year long.
I thought Danny Cannell was going to call timeout. It seemed to take a long time discussing the situation along the sideline. And if you notice, they had to hurry up and get to the line of scrimmage, and perhaps that hurry-up situation prevented him from kicking the ball as well as he could.
First down from the 20-yard line. It's Curry, left side. Mike Curry to the 25. Curry tripped up at about the 28-yard line. The ball came loose, but he was already down. Nick Butler made the tackle in the secondary for Westminster, but a nice pickup for Butler, for Curry. Clock running, 3:10 to go here in the second quarter.
Also, Pat Frost, the nose guard, hustling over again. Look at the convoy of beef that he has leading him right there. The size is just so impressive, the Fighting Christian football team.
Go up the middle with Deary, who stutter steps up to the 30, the 35-yard line before he's wrapped up. Butler in on the tackle with Kari Boyd. But it's a first down for University Christian. We'll see if they try to pick up the pace now at the 35-yard line. 2:48 to go. They do not have any timeouts remaining. And the clock will start again as they place the ball at the 35. 14-6, University Christian on top. Last year it was a 6-3 ball game for the state title. Westminster won it. On first down, the give is to Deary. Deary reading his blocks well, gets across the 40, fumbled it. And Westminster says they have it. The officials have not yet signaled. Yes, Westminster football. Coming away with it, Morris Gallion.
Yeah, he does give the ball up. He clearly loses the handle before he hits the turf. He's in the secondary right now. Again, a gaping hole at the line of scrimmage, but the ball is stripped. McClam, I believe, strips it, and Gallion, the linebacker, Morris Gallion, number 50, there's the young man that gets the turnover. Big break, Larry, for the Lions right there.
And he goes right back in there at center and has to deal with Terrence Gordon on his nose, but Westminster will take it. First down at the University Christian 42. 2:10 to go in this opening half. Man in motion, pitch back. They'll do a little flea flicker type thing. Loose ball. Cannell has to fall on it. Back at the 48-yard line. A big loss on the play. And it will be a second down and 20. University Christian's Elijah Brown knocked it away from Cannell, but Cannell already down. You'll see him fall on it, and that makes it a dead ball.
Yeah, the sideline of University Christian is yelling that they had the ball. He loses it. The ball is slippery. I don't know, Larry. It looks like he might not have had control, although maybe it was the whistle, so it doesn't matter. I think they blew the whistle to protect the quarterback, and once they do that, everything else is for naught.
For a quarterback reaching out there with his right arm and then having Elijah Brown at 260 fall right on that shoulder. Not a scary sight, but Cannell apparently not shaken up. 2nd and 20 with 1:20 to go in the first half.
Right here.
They try that middle screen again. Again, it's wide open. Manuel gets a downfield block, runs into Parkins, who puts him down at the 39-yard line. About a 13, 14-yard pickup. It'll bring up 3rd down and pretty long with 1:04 clock running left in the opening half.
I think they better keep running that play until the University Christian defense can figure out how to stop it. Manuel wide open for the 2nd time this afternoon on that quick screen as he drags across just underneath where the linebackers have vacated their area in pass defense.
Manuel now with 3 catches for 63 yards. He's been the offense. Swing pass too strong, intended for Butler, falls incomplete. And that'll bring up a 4th down and 7 at the 39 with 39 seconds left in the first half.
Kelvin Deary, number 55, was over on that play. It had no chance at all. He was in excellent position to make the tackle. Scott Brown also over there on the play. They had that one all figured out.
You can see some of the folks who made the trip up from Fort Lauderdale to root on the Lions of Westminster. We'll see if they really do punt it. 39 seconds left, 4th down and 7. Cannell will not punt. Looking to throw, he throws for McClam. It is incomplete. He went up and almost came down with it. Nice effort by the senior, and University Christian will take over at the 39-yard line with 33 seconds to go.
Tony Aiken over in coverage right there, but he did in fact almost make the one-handed catch. Akiva McClam on an excellent effort, but no first down, and the Fighting Christians are going to run the first half out, I think.
One play will do it. And will send University Christian to the locker room with an 8-point lead. They do give it inside. Deary with running room across midfield. He is hit once, hit twice, and goes out of bounds at around the 40-yard line with 24 seconds left. So they might have thought about running out the clock, but a 21-yard gain has put University Christian down at the Westminster 40 with 24 seconds left in the half.
I don't know that Rodney Deary was ever knocked out of bounds. He was knocked aggressively along the sideline, but I don't know that he ever went out. Let's see. I think he surprises even himself right here. Watch him get along the sideline. Now he's going to take it. Oh, there's a stiff arm right there. There's a hit. Yeah, he stepped on the line right there. He steps on the line. The whistle blows, and they might get some more points here.
Sepala throwing down the sideline. It is caught and driven out of bounds with the football is Keno Parkins, but that's a 20-yard gain on the play. Nick Butler made the stop defensively for Westminster, but a nice throw and catch from Jackie Sepala to Keno Parkins sets them up at the 20 with 18 seconds left in the first half.
Young sophomore Sepala really looks good throwing the football as well.
One thing to think about, Jim, is that University Christian has not made a field goal this year. They are 0 for 1 on field goals.
0 for season, huh?
Sepala over the middle, overthrown, intended for his tight end, Jeremy Thomas. It falls incomplete. It'll be 2nd down and 10 with 13 seconds to go in the half. Enough time for 2 plays, possibly 3. Sepala now 1 out of 5. Just that 20-yard completion to Parkins on this possession.
Jeremy Thomas was waving his arms frantically down the field, trying to get the attention of Sepala, but the ball wasn't thrown well.
Realize anything thrown in the middle of the field will have to be a first down in order to stop the clock, and then they'd have to hurry up to try to throw the ball incomplete and stop it. No timeouts remaining. And that pass is overthrown as he tried to lead it out there, intended for Mike Curry, but threw it way far for any DB or a wide receiver to try to catch up with. 8 seconds left in the half. It's 3rd and 10.
Nick Butler, the defensive back, Larry, slipped. If he hadn't have slipped and fallen down, that ball would have hit him right between his numbers, and that could have been a very dangerous situation for the Fighting Christians, but incomplete again.
You see the clock in the lower right-hand corner. Seppala can take one more shot at the end zone, maybe two. Oh, he just throws the quick out, incomplete. That would not have helped very much. And with 4 seconds to go, it's 4th down, and are they going to try a field goal? Apparently they are, as Mark Miller, who has not made a field goal all year long, will try one.
I think they were trying to get a little closer to the goalpost to try the field goal, even though, as you mentioned, they're 0 for the season.
0 for 1. He's only tried one. This is a team that goes for the end zone when they get close. Oh. Miller kicks it right into the line. It's caught at the 9. They can return it. And Dando will return it to about the 19-yard line. And that will be the end of the first half of the Florida Class 1A State Championship football game. At the half, University Christian 14 and Westminster 6. Back with our halftime. After this timeout, you're watching high school football championship action on Sports Channel. Ben Hill Griffin Stadium at Florida Field in Gainesville, where the first of our 5 high school championship games is at halftime. Jacksonville University Christian against Fort Lauderdale Westminster. Joining us now at halftime, 2 gentlemen who are very important parts of Florida high school athletics. To my right, Ron Davis, the commissioner of the Florida High School Activities Association, and to my left, Ron Allen, who is the president of the association. First of all, Mr. Davis, tell us about the association. It's quite widespread. It's not just a football group, that's for sure.
No, it's not, Larry. We cover 26 different championship sports, and we also have music activities and the Student Council and National Honor Society as well.
Tell us about the decision-making process that got us to where many of the championship games are now staged at a single venue.
Well, over the years, we felt like that it would be better to bring all the youngsters together and bring them into a nice facility where they compete on equal ground, and we just felt like it was good for the games to do that.
All 5 football championship games being played here in Gainesville, 2 this weekend and 3 next weekend. And Mr. Allen, tell us about the process by which the various cities can try to go after and how Gainesville went out about getting the championship games right here.
All right, Larry, we've gone to a bid process, and we send the bid specifications out to the cities interested, and they submit the bids back to Mr. Davis, and they are opened, and then we go through the bid process and invite the vendors, so to speak, to the March meeting, and they present their packet to the board of directors, and the board of directors subsequently will vote for the site.
Tell us about what you're looking for out of this weekend and next.
Well, we're looking for a good crowd. We've been disappointed over the past few years of the crowd, and we're just hoping that we can get a good turnout here in Gainesville.
Okay, Ron, glad to see you here in Gainesville. Looking forward to both weekends of high school action.
Thank you, sir.
Ron Allen, our guest at halftime, and Ron Davis again. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Larry. It's a pleasure to be here.
The Fighting Christians of Jacksonville University Christian with a 14-6 halftime lead over the defending state champ, Fort Lauderdale Westminster. We'll be back with more of our halftime, but first, these words on Sports Channel. Well, first it didn't rain, then it rained, then it stopped raining, and it rained some more, and we're at halftime, and it has now stopped raining at Ben Hill Griffin Stadium at Florida Field. Welcome back to our halftime, where Fort Lauderdale Westminster trails Jacksonville University Christian by a score of 14-6 at halftime. And Jim Yarborough, when we look at the first half stats, really not a lot of difference there. It doesn't really point out some of the keys in this ball game.
Well, I agree, Larry. Neither team's really dominated each other on offense or defense. It's the big plays as we look at 135 yards in total offense for the Fighting Christians and the Lions with 97. But Really the key plays, as you mentioned, were specialty team plays or turnovers. The punt return and the interception that happened in the first half were the big plays.
Take a look now at the scoring summaries as these teams have gotten to a 14-6 ball game. And early on in the contest, it was Butler running it in for Fort Lauderdale Westminster. They had a 6-0 lead, bad snap on the conversion. Then Deary ran it in from 3 yards. Had so much fun, he ran it in again from about 1.5 yards out for the 2-point conversion, 8-6. And then the turnover set them up at the 8-yard line. Deary scoring yet again. University Christian with a 14-6 lead. But the thing they were worried about on the Westminster side, Jim, was the long drives of University Christian, and yet their drives have been 3 yards and 8 yards.
That's right. That's really not hurt them. It was the turnover, the interception, and the long punt return. So the Lions are really in this ball game, and they have a pro set attack. They can get points on the board, so they're fortunate to be in this ball game at halftime.
This is the first of 5 championship games here on Sports Channel. Next weekend, the 3A title game. Haines City, a shutout winner in theirs. Also a shutout winner, Santa Fe High School from Alachua, just 10 miles up the road from us. They will meet here next Sunday at 1 o'clock. You'll be able to see it on Sports Channel. In Class 4A, Fort Walton Beach, the number 1 team in the state, they're undefeated. They won big against St. Thomas Aquinas, the number 2 team in the state, also undefeated, also a comfortable winner in the semifinal. That'll be at 4 o'clock next Sunday. And then Sunday at 10 o'clock, the big schools, 5A. When you're talking big, you're talking Orlando Evans, an offensive line. Their tackles and guards are outweighing the tackles and guards at the University of Florida, the University of Miami, or Florida State. That is a huge team against Miami Southridge, which won a great game against Vero Beach by a score of 17-16. And coming up later tonight here in the 2A championship game, you'll get to see Jefferson County from Monticello as they go up for they're going after a 5th state championship. That'll be coming up later on against Frostproof. But now it's halftime. University Christian 14 and Fort Lauderdale Westminster 6. Back with some highlights after this timeout on Sports Channel. Well, Fort Lauderdale Westminster scored 6 points last year against University Christian. That was enough to win a 6-3 state title, but 6 points at halftime is not enough to even have the lead. They're down 14-6 at the end of the first half, but Westminster scored first, and it's interesting that special teams and turnovers have been a big part, and Westminster's first chance came off just a 28-yard punt. They had a 55-yard drive, and Nick Butler has been their man with his 26th touchdown of the year.
He's not a big kid, Larry, but he does in fact draw first blood for the Lions right here, and we use the word push and shove. That offensive line of the Lions literally pushed the Christians into the end zone, and the Lions got off to the quick start and now have 6 points at halftime.
The star of the first half for Jacksonville University Christian, though, was Rodney Deary. Let's take a look at this beautiful punt return.
Look at Rodney Deary use the juke and the fake to set himself up. He knows where that wall is, and he's going to get a crushing block from Big Larry Wright, who's going to jump into your screen right here. Look at that unbelievable hit. And Deary moves the football right down to, about the 3-yard line, I think, before he's finally knocked out of bounds. There he's inside the 5. Yeah, he gets to about the 3.
On the very next play, Deary runs it in for a touchdown to give Jacksonville University Christian a 6-0 lead. It was 8-0 after the 2-point conversion, and then Keno Parkins intercepted a pass, setting University Christian up close again and setting him up once again for Rodney Deary.
Rodney Deary, the senior tailback, over 1,000 yards rushing for this ball club coming into the playoffs, and he continues to shine in this championship performance.
Deary with all 14 points for University Christian, and as a result, Jacksonville's team leads by 8 over Fort Lauderdale Westminster in a rematch of last year's 1A championship. Back with the second half after this timeout. You're watching high school football action on Sports Channel. Ben Hill Griffin Stadium at Florida Field, the home of the University of Florida in Gainesville, and the host for this year's Florida High School Championship games. We're in the Class 1A final at halftime, where it's a 14-6 ball game. We invite you to tune into Sports Channel for exclusive Miami Heat basketball. Wednesday night, the Indiana Pacers will be in town to take on the Heat. Then Saturday, the Celtics will be in there. Larry Bird and Robert Parrish, Kevin McHale and company. All of it right here on Sports Channel, the home of the Heat. Be sure to check your local listings for the availability in your area.
The Fighting Christians had won the coin toss at the outset of this ball game, had elected to receive the football, so this time starting the second half, it'll be the Lions getting the football.
There you see the guy in the blue jacket with his back to you, Jacksonville University Christian alum Storm Davis, right-handed pitcher who signed a national letter of intent with the Florida Gators about a decade ago. Never did go to college, however, or at least didn't play college baseball. Signed a professional contract, pitched with the Orioles, then signed with the Kansas City Royals as a free agent, and last week was traded again by the Royals back to the Orioles. So Storm will be pitching in Baltimore next season.
Stormy career, perhaps?
Not on payday.
That's the nature of the game, though, in the major leagues, especially with the pitching game. You're here today, gone tomorrow. You're only as good as yesterday's ball game sometimes.
Really? I tell you, that it's a guy with a lot of talent and pitched very well for the Orioles, struggled with Kansas City, and now he'll go back to Baltimore and try to recapture some of that success. Get set to start the third quarter, and University Christian will be kicking off to Fort Lauderdale Westminster. As we mentioned, we've got the 2A final later on, Monticello Jefferson County against Frostproof, and then 3 games next weekend, all of them right here in Gainesville.
Maybe we'll get a break with this weather. It seems to be lightening up a little bit. Perhaps the rain will go away.
Set to kick it off for University Christian is Mark Miller. A little high wop kick, almost a sky kick that needed to be fair caught. No fair catch was made, but the catch was handled by Westminster's coverage man,
Damian Thomas, Larry, number 34, and I agree, he needs to put up that fair catch signal. That's just too dangerous of a play to catch that ball, because he can be hit when he touches that football and could give it up.
Dan Cannell set to go to work for Westminster in the first half. Cannell 4 for 11 for 71 yards and 1 interception. Pitches to Butler running right side. He avoids 2 tacklers, turns it upfield to the 45, up to about the 48-yard line, where he's finally run out of bounds by Rodney Deary. Tony Aiken also in there for University Christian, but a nice gain of about 8 yards.
Larry, Jeff Zion, number 33, thought he had Butler hemmed in, but he's just too quick. He just gave him a little hitch and a step and then bounced outside. And once he got outside, he came close to picking up the first down.
There you see the numbers on Dan Cannell. Has 18 touchdown passes this season.
25% of his completions were for touchdowns during the regular season.
Throwing left side, and that time it was McClam running up the back of Keno Parkins, who got right in front of the Westminster receiver, and the ball falls incomplete. Head coach Bill Merton of Fort Lauderdale Westminster, and he certainly expected today's game to be a lot different than last year's 6-3 contest.
Last year's game, what stood out for me is the tremendous defensive play. And then in crucial situations, we made big plays defensively when we had to. And then special teams, when Ryan Phipps ran that ball back, 45, 50-yard punt return, and then got the field goal. That was a big play for us.
Little cross-buck action running left side. I'll tell you one thing, that young Nick Butler, just a sophomore, tough to bring down.
But when you're hit by Larry Wright, you know, you're going to remember it. Larry Wright continued to shine on offense and defense at the line of scrimmage for the Fighting Christians as Coach Merton continues to try and seek an answer to moving the football.
And we'll see what Coach Merton does on 4th down and less than a yard from the 48-yard line. They will come out in punt formation. Once again, it appears University Christian is not going to believe it. Nobody is back, and Cannell will have a chance to pin the Fighting Christians very deep in their own territory. There's a good kick. Hits at the 17. That could roll all the way into the end zone, and it does. So a touchback is recorded, and Jacksonville University Christian will go to work at their own 20-yard line following a 52-yard punt by Dan Cannell.
That was Nick Butler hustling down there, trying to stop that ball before it got across the goal line, but he wasn't able to get there in time. And here comes the wing tee.
Rodney Deary, all 14 points for Jacksonville University Christian, a senior running back, 2 touchdowns and 1 2-point conversion carry. He's got that game face on, doesn't he? Serious about this stuff. Deary with 77 yards in the first half. But it'll be Curry getting the call, and Curry getting about 5 yards up to the 25-yard line before he's spilled down by Akiva McClam along with Pat Frost.
Elijah Brown and Tony Bennett, the big, strong offensive guards, once again leading the convoy for Curry.
36 yards on 7 carries for Curry, averaging 5.1 in this ball game. Came into the game averaging 7.5.
As a 9th grader, isn't that something?
Inside handoff to Deary, bounces off 2 tacklers, still driving to the 35. 10 hard-fought yards for the running back Rodney Deary. Khari Boyd ends up wrapping him up, but he needed a lot of help to handle the senior running back from Jacksonville.
Well, we talked about time-consuming offense, and you're seeing it right here as it works perfectly. The senior tailback continues to shine, Rodney Deary.
87 yards, 2 touchdowns for Deary. To give this to Curry. Curry's got 5, maybe 6 before he's driven backwards. Kovac in on the tackle, along with a host of his teammates. Lamont Wesley, the free safety.
Pat Frost, the nose guard, at only 185. Typically, they're double teamed at the line of scrimmage. You'll see the nose guard. No, he shot the gap, but was angling the wrong direction. Just a good call by the offense as they angled away from the slant. But again, the big guard Elijah Brown pulling to lead the attack.
Timeout is called as the referee, who had his microphone, I think, short out on him because of the rain of the first half, is going to see if we can get him hooked up a little bit better. Got a little plastic baggie on there. Technical crew doing their job. It'll be 2nd down and 5 from the 40-yard line.
Our crack technical crew out there.
Oh, they're great. 8 minutes, 53 seconds to go. 3rd quarter. University Christian up by 8. They go on the inside. Deary across the 45 has another 1st down before he's driven back by Wesley along with Kovac. Deary a little bit shaken up. His shoulder seems to be bothering him, his right shoulder, but he's shaking it off and running hard and running well for University Christian.
Sam Robbins, number 78, just missed the tackle at the line of scrimmage right there. Couldn't quite hang on.
Consecutive 1st downs on this drive as University Christian tries to establish superiority on the line of scrimmage. There's Curry right side for about 6 or 7 yards. Brian Kovac in on the tackle, but University Christian starting to pound Westminster on the line of scrimmage.
Really a pretty offense to watch. Look at the 2 guards, Bennett number 57 and Brown number 68, leading the attack. You just can't draw it up any prettier than that, and Mike Curry is the beneficiary of that powerful blocking up front.
Player shaken up for Westminster will get some medical attention. That's John Dando, a linebacker, all of 160 pounds.
It's like he's holding his hand there.
Left elbow, maybe?
It hurts anyway, I know that. That's a violent game these young men play down there, and it takes a lot of courage. And they've got plenty of it on the field in the state championship battle, that's for sure.
They're going to take him out of the game and get that elbow, try to feel a little better, get a little medical attention.
Larry, I think he holds on place kicks as well, so that could be a problem for him. As additionally, he's the backup quarterback.
2nd down, they'll call it 4. It's more like 3 yards and a foot. They go inside with Deary. It's just alternating inside and then outside, and Deary gets 3 yards down to the 45. It'll bring up 3rd down and very short. Brian Kovac makes his 4th tackle of the 3rd quarter. He's been in on almost every play for Westminster defensively.
Tommy Taylor, number 54, throwing a nice block for the University Christian offense right there.
The chain gang started to come in for a measurement. They have to go back. The officials didn't want one. Third down, they only need about a foot.